Boys, girls, I hope you're doing well. You know, one of the interesting things about YouTube is my favorite type of content is when other YouTubers talk, they break the fourth wall, talk about their inner thoughts, talk about what they've been going through. But myself, I always find that to be so uninteresting on camera. But we're gonna try it anyways. And look, if it doesn't work, hey, we can just pretend this episode never happened. You and I won't speak of this again. This will be one of the great lost episodes of Coffeezilla. We'll remove it, we'll banish it to the shadow realm, and we'll just move on with their life, okay? But I want to tell you guys something I've been thinking about, and it came from a conversation with Graham Stephan. Look, you guys know I had him on my podcast, The Drip, Fridays, and he came on my live stream and told me not to live stream anymore.
One of the things, I'll just tell you up front, one of the things that I think you're doing wrong from a growth perspective is doing live streams. Yeah. Long live streams like this lower the overall click-through rate. So very few people are likely to go back and watch your live stream. So YouTube sees that as a not very performing video.
So he says, look, just move the live stream to a different channel.
So what would have been better for you to do is, if you want to do live streams, make a second channel for that.
And I think he's right. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to try it for like a month, see if I see any difference. If not, we'll move it back to the channel. But if you're a fan of the live stream, you should know we're moving it to The Drip. It's a YouTube channel all on its own. I'm going to leave it first, link in the description. Go subscribe if you want to continue to be kept up to date with that, because here going forward, we're not having it hosted here on Coffeezilla. So go subscribe to The Drip. We're going to have great guests. We got Philip Solo TV coming on. It's going to be epic. But that conversation got me thinking about something larger, which is change. It's been a thing I've been experiencing. I'm talking to my friends a lot recently. A lot of my creator friends are feeling burnt out, tired of the content they're producing, tired of, repeating themselves, tired of doing the same thing. And I wanted to put this out there, maybe even for myself a little bit, and some of you at home who are wondering, what you should do if you're facing kind of a crossroads. I think life is about embracing change, which might sound a little cliche to say, but coupled with change is the fear and possibility of failure. So really what I'm saying is that life is about embracing failure. That's definitely been true of my life. I don't know if you guys know, but even the people who've been riding with me since coffee break days, I've tried so many things on YouTube, even prior to that. I've had a piano channel. I've had a Twitch channel where I'd get 5 viewers, every night, and I'd stream for 3 hours. The channel never took off. It died. It was a terrible idea from the start. I ran an interview show. That was the start of Coffeezilla, was an interview show. I was going to interview video essayists. I was sure it was the next big thing. That totally bombed. But I realized throwing those things against the wall and seeing them fail actually is what caused me to get to where I am today. And I couldn't have gotten here without basically making a series of failures that, blew up in my face. They bombed at the time. And I think that's what everyone misses. They want to shortcut success. They want to avoid failure. And that's what keeps them from changing, is because they think that by being smart, they can dodge failure. But I don't think you can. I think it's the failures that make the successes, not the other way around. It's not like you endure failure until you hit success. No, the failure helps you learn how to be successful. So I wanted to say to you guys, don't be afraid about failing with change, because you probably will. Honestly, most of the things that I've tried on this platform have bombed, but nobody ever remembers the bombs. Nobody ever remembers the fails. Well, maybe you guys do a little bit, but we can just make it an inside joke. That's fine. But the point is, at the end of the day, people forget about that stuff and they just remember what you end up succeeding at. And that's something that I think about a lot. I read this book called Made in America by Sam Walton. It's the guy who, made Walmart. And one of the really interesting things about him is his biggest character trait that I think made him successful was he was obsessed with learning from his competitors and just from people in general. In the book, he's at the top of his game. He's, the king of Walmart, his stores everywhere. And he's still going into other people's grocery stores and looking at, what are they doing? What are they doing successfully? What are they doing better than me? He's measuring the distance between their stalls because he likes the flow of traffic better than at his Walmart. I mean, his obsession with growth never stopped, even when he was at the top, even when he could have gotten complacent, or he could be thinking, I'm at the top, I have the most to lose by changing and failing. And that's the thing that impressed me the most, is just his attitude towards change. And it's what I try to do as well. Dude, I sound like I sound like an inspirational guru right now. I swear, I'm not. This is just actually true. This is really what I believe about the world, is that when you stop trying new things is the exact second that you stop getting better. You stop growing. And I've seen so many other YouTubers do it. Like, you see them grow, and when they get that big audience, you see them get paralyzed. I know you guys can think of one or two creators right now who this has happened to, and they just keep doing the same content that got them successful 5 years ago because they're simply afraid to grow. They're afraid to, stop doing what has always worked for them. And I think you can't be afraid of that. And that's really something I try to remember. And it's what I think about when Graham gives me advice like that. Hey, stop live streaming. Maybe he's right. Let's try it out. Let's move it to another channel for 30 days. What's the harm? Worst thing that happens? It flops. Honestly, nobody's going to remember it. 5 months from now, no one's going to remember that we took a month to go put it on the other channel. It doesn't matter. So I don't know if there's some of you out there that need to hear this advice right now. I know I definitely need to be reminded of it sometimes. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little rant. That's what I've been thinking about. How you can change big and small. Because let me give you a little secret. We're about to make a big change. The live streaming is a small thing. We're on the come up of a big change with the $10 million studio about to be completed. I know I've been talking about it forever. Guys, it's around the corner. Before the new year, I think we'll have it for you guys. But we're about to make a giant change to content, and I hope you guys roll with me on that, because I promise you one thing. I won't stop trying to improve. We won't stop making this community better, more fun, have bigger and better videos for you guys. So thanks for riding with me so far, guys. I hope we can go even further. See you next time. As always,
smash like and subscribe. Thank you.
When Brian Rose first ran for mayor, I thought it was a joke. Now I think it's a story of self-delusion, a beautiful story of grifting your followers, of lying, of not doing what you stood up for. And it's a beautiful story of what happens when you do all of those things. Do you win or do you fall flat on your face? Well, today we're going to learn lessons from Brian for mayor, the campaign. Guys, if you don't remember, when Brian announced his campaign, he said it was all about free speech. He has been vilified, marginalized, and silenced, all for exercising his fundamental human rights of free speech and freedom of the press. He raised $1 million for freedom of speech, apparently spent close to $1 million on his campaign. Now, I'm not going to put two and two together there. I'll leave that for you. But he allegedly said, I don't do anything by half measures. He said he was going to do things different, bring a fresh perspective, a new set of ideas. So what does he have to show for it? After all this spending, millions of dollars on these elaborate billboards across London, on this elaborate bus, after crying censorship about getting charged by the police, allegedly, after faking a criminal charge, what does he have to show for it? Well, before the election, we didn't know. Many, including Brian himself, were pretty optimistic about it. Now, to show this, I'd love to play you a video from Brian's campaign. Unfortunately, the Mr. Free Speech, the guy who I'll defend to the death, you're right to say it even if I don't agree with you, yeah, that guy has been copyright striking and blocking all videos relating to him. In fact, he recently copyright striked The Drip, my podcast channel, meaning that I only have 2 strikes left before that channel gets deleted. So, ironically, I can't show you his campaign, otherwise he'd censor me. So I decided to do the next best thing. I hired a person on Fiverr to read out Brian's transcript word for word so you could understand what he actually said performatively, because it's not the same if I read it to you. You have to understand the cadence of this man, the surety he had. Now don't ask why he's in a doctor's outfit, okay? We're rolling on the cheap here at Coffeezilla. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. What do you think, I'm rich? But this is what Brian said. He traveled to one of the offices, I guess, for mayor and said he was just visiting his new office. That's how sure he was that he was going to win. That's how deluded this man was. He said, I'm about to kick Sadiq Khan out of his office. Let's hear this clip.
All right, it's Brian Rose, your next mayor of London.
Okay, already this was a really good choice.
Today is the day to vote. I'm checking out my new offices here at City Hall. What an amazing view tower. Breed, you got the Tower of London. You got the City of London. And I'm here to tell the current mayor of London, it's time to clean out your office because I'm moving in on Saturday.
Imagine the arrogance that you have to literally say, nothing's been counted yet? I'll move it in. I'm going to trump that guy. I'm going to trump Sadiq Khan. You're fired. That's what he thought he was going to be doing. He thought he'd be marching in there going, hey, Sadiq Khan, you're trumped. I mean, you're fired.
You're fired.
You're out of here. The people of London have chosen me. This is how sure this guy was.
We are going to take London in a new direction. We are going to rebuild the economy, make our streets safe, finally run transport at a profit, and build those affordable homes.
Wow. So big promises. And even up to the election, that was the day of the election, the votes get cast, but apparently they don't get counted right away, right? So there's a few days to go. Well, in between when everyone's voted and when actually the winner's been decided, Brian releases another video called We Won, We Won.
We won the brain from mayor campaign.
Dude, I can't. When this guy says brain for mayor.
As one, and I don't have to wait for them to count up the votes. I don't have to wait for the tallies to come in.
This is crazy. Of course you have to wait for the tallies. What is he talking about? We won.
Because I've been out on the streets of London speaking to real Londoners on the streets, and I know we've won.
This is more credible coming from a fake doctor than it ever was coming from Brian Rose. You really have to see this clip to believe it. This is the kind of delusion. And eventually he said, we won because we just changed politics. We changed it. This is right out of the fake it till you make it catalog. But there's only so long that you can put off the inevitable. Eventually, the results were in. What did they say?
I therefore declare Sadiq Aman Khan elected as the Mayor of London.
Yikes, we all kind of knew this was coming. But those aren't the results you're looking for or I was looking for. I wanted to know, how did Brian do? Brian Rose for the London Real Party got 31,000 votes, 1.2% of the entire vote. Oh my gosh, that's so bad. He spent millions of dollars to get 1% of the vote by tacking his name up on a billboard everywhere across London. Just to put that in context, right? Nico Alamani, another YouTuber who ran for, quote, vibes. He ran because of vibes, guys. He got 2% of the vote. So don't think that that's good, okay? It's not good. Now, obviously, we have only one real politician we care about. I don't care about Sadiq Khan. I don't really even care about Brian for mayor. You guys know the true London candidate that I was really pulling for. My personal endorsement, Count Binface. How did he do? Unfortunately, he only put in 1%, slightly behind Brian Rose. Now, initially, I was disappointed. That was until I realized how stupid the London election results are and how confusing they are, because that's not actually the real result. There's something called second preference votes, which are like the UK's, it's confusing. The point is, all you need to know is the total. The combined votes is how many votes you actually got, right? Because if Brian Rose and Count Binface were up head to head, you'd count their second preference votes. So what did they actually both get? Well, when you look at Brian Rose, he got a total of something like 70,000 votes. He got 40,000 second preference, 30,000 first preference. Okay, not bad. When you look at our boy Binface, though, he's a sleeper candidate with 70,000 votes just in second preference. And if you add that to his first tally, he has something like 90,000 votes for him, putting him ahead of Brian Rose. So a literal trash can beat Brian for mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the kind of campaign that Brian put on. He was beaten by a literal trash can from space. And that's not to disparage Binface. Everyone knows how much I love Binface. He was my personal favorite to win. But you really just have to look at a single photo to know the difference. Look, intergalactic deep thinker meets own urine drinker. And then we have a photo here of these two. I mean, guys, one of these clearly has spent millions of dollars for a candidacy. The other has a trash can on his head. And I know who I'd vote for. And London feels the same. So in light of all of this, you would think that Brian would finally accept reality. I thought I was going to come to you guys and tell you that Brian has accepted the L gracefully and moved on. Unfortunately, he has recently released a video right after losing where he says this.
All right, I've just finished at City Hall over here with the other 19 candidates to be the next mayor of London. They gave us the final result, and I am not the mayor of London yet.
What? What do you mean yet? Can't you just say you lost? What do you mean yet? Don't say yet. You lost. That's it. You got 1% of the vote. You got blown out.
Are just getting warmed up.
No, you're not. Reality has no touch on this man. Reality means nothing. To Brian, he says, look, I may not have won, but I have won in spirit. I will win eventually. Look, you know you guys can say that about anything. You can literally say that about me. I could make a video that's titled, I am not mayor of London yet. I'm going to start telling my parents that. They always wanted me probably to be a doctor, you know, right here. I'm not a doctor, Mom. Yet. Hello, delusion. My name is Brian.
And that's the message I want to get out to all of our supporters, to all the people that voted for the London Real Party, for Brain, Rose.
Every time he does that, he cracks me up. Everyone who voted for Braid, good job.
All the people around the world that supported us, we are just getting warmed up.
Wow. These are levels of self-delusion that I did not know were possible, and yet we are seeing them right away. Before you get in, before anyone's voted, you say you're going to kick them out of City Hall. Then you go, oh, I've won before the votes are counted. Then you lose, and instead of saying you just lost, you go, I'm not mayor of London yet. Soon, guys. Unfortunately, and I hate to burst people's bubbles here, Brian for mayor is not happening. Brian will never be mayor of London. Or to put it another way, Count Binface has better odds of being the future mayor of London than Brian Rose does. Millions of dollars were spent on a campaign that only got 1% of the vote. What does that say about the resonance of the message? Maybe it's because you're censoring people from talking about you while running on a platform of free speech. Maybe that's why people didn't want to vote for you. Maybe it's because when people want to discuss your candidacy, they have to use literal Fiverr actors to reenact it. Maybe that's why it didn't go off so well. But I don't think Brian's going to reflect on that. Instead, I think he's just going to go, nah, it's just the elites. It's just the two-party system that got me. I really thought before this election that everyone had to come up and face reality eventually, but I think that's not true anymore. After this election, I think we may see another Brian for mayor run in 2024 and maybe in 2028 and then every episode from then on. And let me be honest, if that is... I'm sorry. The finale of this video got a little messy, and it's going to be up to you to put the pieces together. Things might be a bit out of order.
We now learn of this savant that is the man behind Trader's Domain.
It took me weeks to go through all the documents, but eventually a pattern started to emerge.
I was in my room one day and I overheard a conversation and I thought I caught something about B-booking, switching people from A-book to B-book. And so I asked Dave about it and he blatantly said to me, he's like, yeah, if people are going to be losing, you might as well B-book, though, we're just leaving money on the table.
We traced even more money that had come in. According to them, roughly $450 million went into Trader's Domain.
Coffeezilla. I don't think he's ever dealt with someone my size before. And nobody knows anything about his family because they don't have the resources I have.
Hello?
I knew immediately it was Ted. I could tell his voice. I raced to the office, but you could tell by what I was wearing, I wasn't expecting the conversation.
Hey, Stephen, how you doing?
Hey, Ted, thanks for taking the time, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I'll keep it quick with you. No problem.
You weren't ready for it, but you've been on this case for months.
Oh, I was prepared for it. I just wasn't expecting it. I mean, he seemed really hostile at first, and like he was just trying to get me off the phone real quick.
So obviously, mission one?
Right. Keep the guy talking. I guess since you don't have a lot of time, let me just start firing off some questions for you, and you'll forgive me if they're hard questions, but I think given the time constraint, let's make sure we get to the good stuff.
I mean, I'll clarify items up until 2020, because after 2020, I was no longer the owner of the platform, so I don't know what happened with the platform, and I think just to be honest with you, before we continue, obviously I've spoken to my counsel. We know about your YouTube channel now. We reviewed it. I mean, there's really nothing of substance on there, to be honest. I think it's more of a glorified, just clickbait channel. I see what you've done. You've taken a lot of the local hot topics for the time and tried to monetize it. So, I mean, I appreciate your effort. I think what you're going to do is you're going to have a hard time with this fact-finding mission due to the people that you're working with. So I'll let you do what you need to do. That's why I said we only needed 5 minutes. I can't really entertain your conversation because there's really no merit for it in my situation.
Okay, wait a second. Back up. Ted said he doesn't own Trader's Domain anymore?
Because after 2020, I was no longer the owner of the platform.
How's that possible?
You know, I was actually expecting this. When I was going back through all those documents, I saw him trying to set this up. It's kind of a lot to explain.
Might as well bore me. No one else in here's going to. Bar's dead tonight.
All right, I'll tell you. Have you ever heard of the Panama Papers?
Panama Papers? Sure. Big news story in 2016. Leaked papers show that rich people own everything. Not exactly a headline if you ask me.
No, that's not the real story. We knew they owned everything. The real headline was that they kept it offshore, and the question is, how did they keep that a secret?
I don't know. Good lawyers?
More like bad laws. In places like Panama, you could own a company, but not be on the paperwork.
And that's useful how?
Well, you can hide millions in companies you control, but if anyone asks you about it, you're off the books.
I see. The true owner is hidden.
That's right. It's called beneficial ownership, and the Panama Papers was just the start.
Okay, I get that. But what does this have to do with Trader's Domain?
Well, our friend Ted decided to use a similar playbook. Check this out. Here are the founding documents of Trader's Domain. In it, we see the first director's minutes where Ted Sifranco and David Negus got in this whole thing. They both get half the company's shares. But here's the key thing. In January 14, 2020, something changes. A new director gets appointed, someone named Arthie Kaniger, and watch this. After he gets in, Ted resigns.
Oh, and it's in January 14th, 2020. That's why he says he doesn't own it.
That's right. But also, I found another document, dated a little later, 3 days later, in fact, an acknowledgement letter admitting that he was the ultimate beneficial owner of Trader's Domain.
Wait, then doesn't that mean he still controls it?
Yes, exactly.
So this new director is just the fall guy.
Yes, now you're getting it. It's what I wanted to tell Ted in the first place.
You know, I rarely give you compliments, but I really think you got him.
I thought he did, but Ted wasn't going to go down without a fight.
Also, you said that in 2020 you signed over the account, but I have an acknowledgement letter from you that says that you actually are the ultimate beneficiary owner. Do you want to address that?
No, because it's not true.
So this signature on January 17th, 2020, where you acknowledge that all legal actions which may be taken by the company's director, which you did sign over the director or shareholder, including but not limited to signing of agreements, documents, are confirmed by and agreed with me as the company's UBO, and I have full control over directors or shareholders' actions. And this is your signature at the bottom. Is that fake?
Yeah, because was that document stamped?
I'm sorry, you're saying this signed document from you is fake?
All corporations have a seal. So is there a seal on that document?
There's no seal on this document.
Okay, so like I said, you should
Ted, why would somebody fake your signature on this? Come on.
The reason why that my passport's been passed around that's expired. The reason why there's documents of mine that have been expired and passed around. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, please go on a better fact-finding mission.
Oh, what is he talking about now?
Well, check this out. Ted is basically saying that the document we have isn't valid because it doesn't have a seal that looks like this on the document, where ours just has his signature.
Woo! This guy is slick, Coffee.
I think his ability to lie is both his strength and his weakness, though. I mean, yes, he is very good, but probably also why he picked up the phone in the first place.
Oh, He thought he could bluff past you.
Right. And he's actually done it before. In digging through Ted's documents, I found I wasn't the only person he tried this trick on. Back in 2019, the Ontario Securities Commission even investigated him.
You mean like the Canadian government?
Yep, they already looked into him, and Ted lied his way out of it. I even have the emails to prove it. I mean, check this out. At the time, Ontario was concerned about Traders Domain soliciting Canadian investors in 2019. So Ted said they didn't have that many and they'd be removing them from the platform by July 1st.
And then what?
Well, and then that was that. I mean, it was over.
So what? They just stopped taking Canadian clients?
Oh, of course not. The investigation stopped. But I found people being recruited from Canada as early as directly after the fact. People like Armand, a customer who said he was from Ontario and wanted to sign up, and he said there was no option for it. And so they replied, just use crypto as the country code. The same thing happened with another Canadian. When he asked how to open an account, their response was, please use crypto as the country code.
I can't believe they got away with this.
Yeah, well, it actually gets worse, because in 2021, Ontario decided to investigate them again.
No way. This time they caught them though, right?
Nope. Ted lied again. He told the investigator, hope all is well. We're not affiliated with this organization since early 2020.
Huh. That's what he told you too.
Correct. And I think that that's why Ted and David pulled this trick in the first place, to avoid the feds.
Of course. Now that you mention it, they were first investigated in 2019. So in 2020, they do this.
He's already gotten away with it twice.
So what are you going to do different?
Well, this time we have a bit more evidence. We got that signed document, but we also have, even better, a video from Ted saying he owns Traders Domain after he wasn't supposed to.
So Kilkridge is located offshore. It is owned over here by myself.
You haven't been able to explain why this isn't the case. It seems to me that you're on the record saying you own Traders Domain after 2020, right? You're on the record saying that on video. I can send you the video if you want. Then we've got you a signed document saying that you're the ultimate beneficiary owner. And then we have to ask ourselves, why would you resign from a company that's making so much money to some sham director? Did you sign it over out of the goodness of your heart? Or did you sign it over and secure control?
I didn't sign over the company for the goodness of my heart. There was a sale made. So once again, like I said, you don't really have your facts.
How much money did you make from Traders Domain?
$0.
So you started it and you just sort of profited nothing. You didn't make a dime.
Nope.
You say you sold Traders Domain in 2020. That's what you say.
Yep.
How much did you sell it for?
I think it was $40,000.
Right. But what I'm asking you is, why would you sell a company that has millions of dollars in deposits, is a successful offshore foreign exchange brokerage? Why would you sell that for $40,000?
Because I had bigger plans.
Why wouldn't you sell Traders Domain for its true book value?
Because I don't care about money.
Okay.
Maybe you care about money. I don't.
Oh, brother, this guy's a liar.
Yeah, you don't say.
Well, what does he care about?
According to him, the downfall of society.
I don't agree with society at all. I think a lot of people, including yourself, are very delusional in terms of what you think society is doing.
What do you think society is doing?
Well, you're contributing to it.
But contributing to what?
The downfall of society through social media. And through the ability of people like yourself to generate revenue based on what I would say, maybe the hysteria is the wrong word, or maybe, the latest gossip, the latest information.
Ted,
you're monetized.
You aren't the latest gossip.
Yeah, so you're monetizing.
This is a gigantic Ponzi scheme where people are suffering. Doesn't any of that matter to you?
Once again, this is your benefit, not mine.
No. What I'm saying is, a bunch of clients come to me. They say there's this giant Ponzi scheme. Ted Safranco runs it. I find your name over all the documents. Then I come to you and you're telling me, oh, this is a salacious thing. This is just gossip. This is news of the day. If a $300 million Ponzi scheme, or let's say the CFTC's right, a $145 million Ponzi scheme, let's even say it's a $10 million Ponzi scheme. If a $10 million Ponzi scheme's not worth talking about, what is?
The lack of family value, the way that people try and destroy other people's lives by
But Ted,
doing...
don't you think that the person who ran this Ponzi scheme destroyed people's lives? Don't you
probably
think
have
they're
to talk
contributing
to
to the
them.
destruction of family values? You know?
Well, I think when you look at this circumstance, as you quote call it, upon whatever you're investigating, maybe ask those clients of yours that you're investigating if they had free will to make decisions, and maybe.
But
you'll
if they
get a
were
different...
misled, right? If they were misled and lied to,
By who?
well, by you, Ted.
By me?
Yeah, by you. Can you believe it?
No, I can't believe this. I can't believe any of it.
Neither could any of the victims I spoke to.
What do you think about, maybe it's your responsibility because it's your free will to invest?
He's pushed that narrative before in the chat, making like nobody ever solicited any money or anything like that. But meanwhile, that's all bullshit. That is such a chicken response from a total coward. Oh my God. So no accountability at all.
I mean, this is sociopathic behavior, right? This is what a real sociopath does. They detach themselves from their behavior and they blame their victims.
I was getting angry at this point, given the disconnect between the damage this guy caused and the absolute lack of empathy.
Did you at least show him that damage?
I mean, I tried to.
When a guy tells me that his brother mortgaged his house to invest in Trader's Domain, you don't feel like you have any culpability with that.
Who told them to mortgage the house?
They're trying to better their lives. You understand that, right? To support probably ostensibly his family. You talk about caring about these family values. Ted, this guy's trying to support his family. Don't you think that's
By
a good
mortgaging
thing?
it out? Not really. You're taking shelter and you're
To
abusing
invest money. A mom put $10,000 to try to invest in her kids' tuition. Do you not care about any of this? These family value, these families?
Well, I'm thinking right now you're giving me two situations where people have made poor choices, and now
to trust you as the owner of the PAM account and the person who ran it.
Once again, couldn't tell you.
I mean, we have you on video saying you ran it, so we don't have to trust you on this. I'm just stating what you said. I'm just repeating your words back to you. So you don't feel any culpability for what you did there. I mean, you're saying I'm destroying the fabric of, family values. Don't you think you are?
No.
Man, and I thought I was heartless.
It's honestly frightening to hear someone like that on the other end of the line. It's like talking to a shell of a human being. No offense.
None taken.
Did you run the PAM account?
Which one?
Any of them? Did you run any of the PAM, the high-risk PAM account, the one that was trading so well?
I don't know.
You don't know if you were running it or not?
No.
How long will you run the PAM system for? I don't know. I mean, people have liked it. I don't mind doing it. It's not difficult for me to trade. Trading's easy for me. It'll be basically, when I decide I'm bored.
So you say, quote, how long will you run the PAM system for? I don't know. People have liked it. I don't mind doing it. It's not difficult for me to trade. Trading's easy for me. It'll basically be, when I decide I'm bored. That wasn't you.
Don't know what context that is.
But you're just, I'm reading you the quote. It's you talking about the PAM system. You're saying, talking about trading in the PAM. You're saying you ran it.
Don't remember that.
I don't remember. How convenient.
Yeah, the funny thing is, the victim said he was just talking to them about trading.
I'm in chats right now on Telegram where he's claiming to be still today. He's still in there actively saying that he's trading. There are a couple of bad days happened and he's like saying, you guys are stressing me out. I'm getting thousands of DMs from angry people. Do you think I'm not going to have a hard time trading with all this pressure and stress? So he's still claiming he's the trader. So the fact that he's telling you that he's not aware if he's ever traded on that. I mean, it's just, who traded then, dude? Who's the trader?
At this point, I don't know what to do. Ted's basically pleading dementia. I don't recall.
Sounds like pleading the fifth to me.
It's pretty surprising coming from Mr. Family Values, because ultimately, that's who is hurt by all this, is the families.
Do you think it's wrong that Algo Capital told its clients that it was running an algorithm bot, when in actual fact it was just you trading the PAM?
Whatever they told their clients, you probably have to ask them about. I wouldn't know what they're telling their clients.
I do think I should ask about it. I'm just asking for your value judgment. Do you think they're destroying family values with that, perhaps?
How they decide to run their business, if that's what they're doing, that's up to them. I don't judge other people.
Oh, come on. You were judging me a second ago.
Well, yeah, because you actually do something that I've researched. I don't know what those people do.
He doesn't know? What? He's the one taking money from them.
Yeah, I know. Our conversation at this point had basically run its course. He'd stopped giving me real answers. Although, when he got the last word, I found it funny what he was still focused on. Mr. Family Values was still talking about the money.
Well, this has been a very educational call, believe it or not. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, good luck with the monetization.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Dad. Good luck with your $300 million Ponzi scheme.
Monetization. Simple. Yeah.
Pretty good tape. You can hear he's rattled, Coffee. But...
oh, what now?
Well, like you said. What now? Ted denies everything. Government already investigated him twice and failed. What's the smoking gun?
Well, he was lying about Trader's Domain. He was lying about running the trading. We have him on video with that.
Sure. But what about the fake trades?
You mean the bee-booking?
That's the real stuff. Do you have solid evidence there?
I mean, yeah, we've got invoices. We've got an eyewitness.
That's good, but they're just gonna deny that.
You think I need more?
I hate to be the one to tell you this, because you'll love this. But yeah, you need absolute proof.
Fair enough, I guess. Well, wait, what makes you think I'd like to hear that?
I didn't say you like it. You love it. The chase, Coffee. You can't live without it.
Well, it sure beats being psychoanalyzed by a stochastic parrot.
Coffee, I'm hurt. All this negativity coming from my best customer.
From the looks of it, I think I'm your only customer. So I'll try not to be gone too long.
Huh. Famous last words. I wouldn't see anyone for a while. I was obsessed, and the days flew by in a monotonous blur defined by a simple routine. Drive to the office in the morning, work till I could barely think, and then head home after dark to get some sleep. People started asking if I was okay. I didn't even know how to answer them. The truth was, either I would break this case, or I would be broken by it.
All right, I think I've got something. It's been several days of sleep deprivation and going through lots of files because, unluckily for me, a lot of people hate Ted. And they keep sending me stuff. So I had to go through everything. And after doing that, A, not doing great. B, I think I did find something. And I want to show you that. But not going to do that here because my back hurts. And this is the floor. So.
All right, we're back. Let's talk about fake trades. This whole case rests on whether Trader's Domain was making real trades or not. If it wasn't, it's a Ponzi scheme, end of story. Now, as part of this investigation, our first clue was that we found that Trader's Domain uses the software Beta Broker on the back end to make their trades. And we discussed how we found invoices from that company, and it looked like maybe they were bee-booking. But today, we discovered a lot more. I got leaked support chats between Beta Broker and Trader's Domain themselves, the back-end stuff. And I'm going to show you what it revealed. Now, we're going to talk about the authenticity of these documents in a moment because they were leaked to me, so we have to be careful. But the headline of it is this. Beta Broker wasn't just offering Trader's Domain a software, BetaBroker appears to have been helping Traders Domain fake their trades hand in hand with them. And we're going to prove all of this. So here's what we have. We have leaked messages from the BetaBroker help desk. It's basically tech support. And we have screenshots between them and Traders Domain, so we can see what they were asking for help with. Here's an example. On the 4th of November, 2021, Traders Domain sends a message. They need help. Hi, please remove all orders for 1104 and restore balance. That's November 4th. The response is, hello, we've received your request. We will check. And then, dear David, I believe this is the co-founder of Traders Domain, David Negus, we would like to clarify with you one point. We see that negative profit is visible on deals for 11/5, November 5th. Please clarify, perhaps you meant removing orders for this date, or still for 11/4. David responds, yes, for today's date. Now, I know that seems like a lot, but it's actually simple what's going on here. Traders Domain is asking to remove losses they took in the past on trades so nobody sees that they're there. Now, they took these losses on the 5th of November, but David gets a little confused and thinks it's the 4th of November, so he asks them about removing those. But BetaBroker corrects them, and this is important because it shows that they knew that the whole point of this is to fake a positive trading history. And they say, well, hey, you lost money today, not yesterday. Do you want us to delete today's trades? So this is incredibly damning, but I want to be clear for legal reasons. I don't know if this is a rogue employee at BetaBroker doing this, or if this is a systemic thing and probably why people go to BetaBroker in the first place. I don't know the answer to that. But what I do know is that Traders Domain couldn't have done this by themselves. They showed themselves to be incredibly incompetent. And BetaBroker was a huge part of their infrastructure to commit the crimes that they did. Now, here's another message. Hi, please remove all orders after 1330 GMT on 2060487, which is an account number for Ted Safranco, and restore all balances to that time. The response is this: Dear David, there are some profit deals. Could you please elaborate if we need to delete all deals for today after 1330 GMT? In other words, hey, maybe you just want us to delete the bad trades, not just the good trades. And that doesn't sound like tech support to me. That sounds like criminal support, in my opinion. And this shows in black and white how Traders Domain faked this whole thing. They would do these trades, but they would remove the losing ones and keep the winning ones to create a winning record that looked real in real time because there were orders, right? But of course, what the customers didn't know is that those losing orders would all be quietly wiped away. And that's how this Ponzi scheme stayed afloat for so long. It looked like everything was real. They were very successful at faking this stuff. Although, of course, in the end, it's also how it fell apart, because as we showed in the first episode, Traders Domain's customers started catching on to the changing trades, and they would talk about it openly.
He just changed the trades. He just changed the exit, dollar amount that he took on that trade.
So this all lines up with what we know. Ted appeared to be trading in real time, but losing trades would suddenly vanish. And I know what you might be thinking. Well, look, this is great and all, but how do we know that these support chats are real? Maybe these are photoshopped screenshots from upset customers. And I wanted to go ahead and validate the authenticity of these chats. It's a hard problem to solve. And what I realized is we could actually compare these requests for order removals with what people were publicly reporting. And if those two things lined up, then these screenshots are very likely authentic. And that's when I found this Reddit post showing two pictures of their trading account changing. Once when Ted had lost on a trade, and then later that day when those same trades suddenly change. They change where they closed. Now, just so you can read this, the blue arrows are the buys that Ted did, and the red arrows are the sells. And as you can see from the first picture, Ted has lost money using the Wall Street Bets trick of buying high and selling low. Now, he's going to solve this, though, with a very simple trick called fraud. Because in the second picture, you can see that the trades have been adjusted and the story has changed. Now, suddenly, the sells are about breaking even with everything that was bought. Pretty amazing, right? Now, I want to be clear, this Reddit user posted these screenshots months ago, independent of the screenshots that I have.
But when I looked at the support chats and cross-referenced them and the timeline with these trades happening on January 20th, I found a support ticket from Trader's Domain for that exact day. Please adjust all orders to close price of 1932.41 at 0927 GMT for both master account and all investor accounts. And the response is, dear client, you want us to adjust all today's master deals to close time 0927 and close price 1932.41. And then they list out the 6 deals. And David responds, yes, correct. And then the reply, all orders have been adjusted. And sure enough, when we go look back at our Reddit post, it all lines up perfectly. And in the screenshots, 6 trades were changed exactly to the price that was requested, 1932.41. Now this is the smoking gun, undeniable proof of fraudulent, fake trading straight from behind the scenes of Trader's Domain's own software provider. But I'm not finished, because it's not enough to talk about if there was fraud. Where did the money go? Who is entitled to that money? Well, I think I discovered that too, because I had 50,000 emails from Trader's Domain leaked to me. And I was trying to figure out how I could use these to reconstruct a map of how this Ponzi scheme worked, when suddenly I realized the answer was right in front of me. And that comes from the daily account statements. Now, I think we've talked about this briefly, but the way Trader's Domain convinced people that this was all real is they sent a set of daily trades, fake trades, to their customers, supposedly how much money they had made that day. It all looked very real, official. But in these statements, they had people's names in them, account numbers, and their balances. And I realized, well, I had several snapshots of these. And using this, I could reconstruct this whole thing. So here's what I did. I picked a day near the height of the Ponzi scheme, September 20th, 2022. It's right before withdrawals all stopped. And I used a Python script to pull all the emails. I ended up with 9,663 emails. Then I used that script to extract the account balance, the names, the account numbers. And I used that to create a spreadsheet to map this whole thing out. And using that, we find out a couple important things. Firstly, how much was owed in this whole thing? And the answer is $3.3 billion. Of course, not all that money is real. We have uncovered about $500 million of real money that went in, but that brings us to the second thing we can discover, which is who this money was owed to. And this is where all the pieces of our Ponzi fall in place, okay? Here are the biggest promoters, sponsors, and owners in Trader's Domain. Firstly, at the top of the list, we have Tintin, aka Tin Tran, with nearly $1 billion. Now that might surprise some of you, but keep in mind he was the main account people would send money to, as we discovered in part 1. The second largest holder is, not surprising, Ted Sifranco, the guy who says he doesn't own any of this anymore. Well, on September 20th, 2022, he had $370 million. Next up, we have somebody from Houston, an MLM promoter, Holton Bugs. He had $125 million. And if you remember, the first victims we spoke to, they talked to Holton and were shown huge account numbers. Now we know how that was possible. Now the fourth largest holder is Algo Capital, another sponsor we've known about for some time. We didn't know the size though, $96 million. Mike Sims, another big promoter, is close behind with $84 million. And here we can find some interesting connections actually, because it allows us to discover Ponzi schemes within Ponzi schemes. Watch this. So apparently, Mike Sims and Algo Capital work together, at least according to them.
I have a role of serving as Director of International Business for Algo Capital, which is a firm in Miami, Florida. We're also going to be expanding internationally here pretty soon as well. And we are a hedge fund. We're a hedge fund, and we specialize in Forex trading.
Now, this is actually interesting when you realize that Algo Capital was partnered with something called Omega Pro, which is an MLM Ponzi scheme which purported to trade Forex, which might sound familiar.
And we're excited to be partnered with Omega Pro on their vision.
So it appears this is where a lot of the money came from, was this other Ponzi scheme. Basically, Algo Capital and Mike Sims took money from that Ponzi scheme, supposedly to trade. They funneled it into their own thing, which was built around this thing, a Forex bot. But of course, that bot wasn't real. In reality, it seems like they forwarded that money into another Ponzi scheme, which is
Trader's Domain. That's why I said Ponzi schemes within Ponzi schemes within Ponzi schemes. Yeah. It looks pretty bad. And actually, funny enough, do you know who one of the promoters of this Omega Pro was?
Come on! Let's go! Come on! Come on!
That's right. The scammer of Wall Street is back, Jordan Belfort. And I know some of you are thinking, wow, I thought he changed. Well, not so sure.
There's only one way to get rich in this world, and that is quickly. You gotta get rich quick. I'm not talking about a get rich quick scheme. That's not what I mean. So I'm not advising you to go out and find some get rich quick scheme, which this is not. It's a legitimate business, okay?
Actually, no, it isn't. None of that's true. You don't have to get rich quick. Omega Pro was a get rich quick scheme, and it wasn't a legitimate business. Unfortunately for investors, Omega Pro has since collapsed at the same time Trader's Domain did, and so investors ironically got poor quick listening to a guy who got paid to speak. Good job, Jordan. I hope that 300 grand you had locked within Future Gin LLC was worth it, and I hope you pulled it from Trader's Domain in time. But let's leave that sleazeball and go back to another sleazeball. Up next on our list of Trader's Domain holders is Disruptive Tech with 59 million. Now, who is that? Well, the email associated is Gilbert Pardalla, who calls himself an enthusiast of the blockchain. In fact, he's so enthusiastic, he's previously been detained for a different scam called Dagcoin. I mean, allegedly, guys, allegedly. Up next, we have Stormy Wellington, another top 10. She's an influencer with $26 million in Trader's Domain, which may explain why 9 months ago she posted a video called, "I bought a $1 million yacht cash." I mean, how do you think she did it, guys? It's a real mystery. Was it maybe that you were in a Ponzi scheme?
I went out here and got it all off of hard work and dedication. No lottery ticket, no luck.
Darn it. Turns out it was hard work and dedication all along. Now, jokes aside, we could go one by one through all these people, but we'll be here all day. However, a lot of these people didn't just end up with millions of dollars out of nowhere. They have that because they took it from the victims that they took a cut from, that they brought into this whole scam. So just in case I haven't mentioned the person who you got scammed by, here's a list of the top 500 players in Trader's Domain. If you have information on being scammed by them, you can contact me here to help with the investigation. Now, before we get to the final piece of this video, I wanted to just really briefly come here and say, this is the most complicated investigation I've ever done, and I couldn't have done it without the support of you guys out there. We've literally run out of wall. Think about that sentence. We're on the floor. I'm not exactly sure that says good things about my state of mind, but it's been so much fun. It's been one of the most gratifying things I've ever been able to do working on this case. And without the support of the patrons, it wouldn't have been possible. So if you can support, just thank you so much. You'll get a lot of cool perks. If you can't, well, you've probably skipped this already. So I wanted to do you a solid and let you know when to check back in, which is going to be right about now. The final question we have to answer is what's next for our villains? And the answer depends on which one. Michael Sims, Mr. Hedge Fund, is having his assets frozen by the CFTC. Tin Tran, an associate of Ted Safranco, is allegedly on the run from his Texas home with his assets frozen. Every single sponsor I spoke to claims that they were just innocent victims. Sure, they may have pulled millions of dollars into this fund, but they didn't have any idea it was a scam. And whether you find that credible, I'll let you decide. Here are the kinds of explanations they gave. Wait, you have 10 million pounds worth of clients with Ted?
Yeah, so I've got loads of clients. I've got loads and loads of clients.
Oh my gosh. Actual dry powder, like dry powder capital?
Yeah, the other day I had my guy put $460,000 in, and it's the thing is he doesn't know, but he doesn't look at any of the trades. We kind of tell him at the end of the day, but I was told this as something like a sort of get your friends in, get your family in, get everyone in, and it's solid, it's nothing's going to go wrong. So I brought all my clients from all the investments that I've ever done and brought them all over, and now it's going to
Personally, I don't find this all that convincing. Just like I don't find Ted Safranco's excuses convincing. And speaking of him, he wasn't that happy about this video to come out. And predictably, he has taken to social media to vaguely threaten me and my family.
Mr. Stephen Friedman or Friesman or whatever his name is, who goes by Coffeezilla, I don't think he's ever dealt with someone my size before. And nobody knows anything about his family because they don't have the resources I have.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. I was very scared of Ted Safranco looking into me with his vast $370 million Ponzi money. But when he referred to me as Mr. Friesman, I breathed a sigh of relief. I think I'll be okay. Now, where do we go from here? Why did I make this whole big docuseries? Well, I basically wanted to argue for 2 points, essentially. Number one, this fraud is much larger than the $145 million Ponzi scheme the CFTC is currently investigating, in my opinion, okay? I think they only have a fraction of the people who are truly involved and a fraction of the dollar amount that was truly involved. I mean, we have crypto transactions proving a lot more. So that's number one. I think this is much bigger, and the people who have been involved, it's a much longer list than they have. But the second problem, and it kind of ties in, is the crimes being charged and not charged, okay? Right now, Ted Safranco is only being charged with submitting falsified bank documents. Now, to put this in context, this would be like if Sam Bankman-Fried's only crime being charged was for ordering too much DoorDash. I mean, did that happen? Maybe so. It'll be litigated, but Ted did a lot more than that, right? Okay, so did his co-founder, David Negus, who isn't being charged at all. So did Algo Capital, who told people this was a trading bot, an algorithmic thing, and they were handing money over to Trader's Domain. They haven't been charged. Neither has Holton Bugs, Mr. Exotic Cars and Yachts. This just isn't right, in my opinion, okay? I think these people took advantage of this Ponzi scheme, got very rich. And I mean, if you want to even forget for a moment the idea of justice being served or whatever, what I'm really afraid of is that they're just going to do it again. I'm just afraid we're going to make a repeat of the same mistake the Ontario Securities Commission made. Twice, by the way. A few years ago, they had this case, it slips through their fingers, and as a result, more people get hurt. Because it's not like Ted's going to stop, right? Already, he's looking to relaunch Trader's Domain under new names. I mean, the guy couldn't even take a year off scamming people. His website already promises a migration of funds. So if people like Ted or his cronies get off easy, they'll likely do the same thing all over again, only they'll probably get better at hiding the scam. So I'm hoping, for the sake of the victims, Ted and his goons don't get away with this. Because at the end of the day, that's who matters here, right? The victims. I mean, yes, I'll be honest, there are probably some unsympathetic investors in this thing, right? People like Jordan Belfort, people like Mike Sims, who scammed so many people. So it's tempting to say, okay, well, how did anyone fall for this? It's such an obvious scam. Maybe you think some of the people aren't sympathetic. But like all Ponzi schemes, at the bottom of this thing, you just find regular people who are trying to make a better life for themselves. And some of them didn't even know they were in Trader's Domain. For example, leaked emails I discovered showed a pension fund was invested in this thing called the Bergy Pension Fund. It got apparently funneled through Oppenheimer and Bishop and Associates, appears to have been then put with Renaissance Consulting, which was then placed in Trader's Domain. And I kept seeing that. Regular people investing their livelihood, mortgages, college savings. Some of them had no idea they were invested in Trader's Domain. They just put their money with a guy they trusted who put that money with another guy and another guy and another guy. And before you know it, you're in a Ponzi scheme. So those people didn't deserve this. And this video series is for those people, the regular people who lost money in this. They deserve justice because YouTube investigations, look, it's great. I love doing this. It's not enough, right? Awareness, subscribers, it's great. It's cool. Comments, it's not enough. Trader's Domain has hurt a lot of people, and the people in charge need to be held fully accountable, and I cannot do that. So for now, our story ends here.
Hey, Coffee. Brooding as usual? Is this why you called, so you can have a buddy to play the depressed detective with?
No, I came here for some peace and quiet. And, you know,
I guess I wanted to apologize about the whole stochastic parrot thing. I didn't mean it.
Nah, I couldn't stay mad at you. The bar would be out of business.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm surprised you guys lasted so long. What has it been, like, a few weeks?
Speaking of that, what happened with that Ponzi scheme you were investigating?
Oh, yeah, that's over. I mean, Ted's still free. Sponsors deny everything. I guess you could say I'm still missing my perfect ending.
Oh, well, I guess I'm sorry. I really thought you just needed more evidence.
Nah, you were right to push me. I mean, it helped, and you were right about a lot of things.
Well, I'm always right. What was that other thing I was right about?
You know, I think you said something about enjoying the next best thing with a friend.
Oh, right. That. Well, I can't drink, though.
Yeah, I thought about that, so I picked up something on my way here. You like a little bit of juice, right?
Coffee. You didn't.
I did. Premium grade stuff right here.
Premium grade stuff, huh? A 9-volt? What, you couldn't get a bigger battery with all that Patreon money?
I mean, what am I gonna do? I gotta keep you sharp. Who do you think's gonna drive me home? Cheers, by the way, my friend.
Friend? That's a new one. I like a little better than stochastic parrot.
Yeah, well, don't be too flattered. I think it's more of an indictment of my social life than anything else.
Well, I, for one, am honored to be your first indictment on this case. Does this mean I'm like a sidekick now, too?
No. I don't have sidekicks. Coffeezilla doesn't have sidekicks.
I think you're wrong. I'm already your best friend, I make you drinks, and I drive you around. I feel like a promotion is in order.
I said you were a friend, and I work alone.
Yeah, a best friend, who also moonlights as a sidekick.
You're impossible.
I think I'll go by Dr. Maxwell. And with that, we'll see you guys next week.
Oh, no, don't do that.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just thanking the wonderful audience for watching.
No, you do. You're doing that thing where you play us out while trying to pretend that this whole sidekick thing is happening. It's not happening.
We'll see y'all real soon. Sidekick thing is happening, and I love every one of you. And the dynamic duo is back indefinitely next week, every week.
Wait, I can't even do every week. This took me like 4 months.
A boy and his robot. You won't want to miss it. Click here to see more videos.